In this case, we've got two radio systems. We've got Starcom, and we've got the 800. And within the two radio systems, you've got mobiles, portables, and mobiles, and portables, and mobiles, and portables. And in the 800, we've got mobiles, and portables, and mobiles, and portables. And within the system, the radios, the mobiles, and the portables, and everybody can talk. And then within this system, the mobiles and the portables, and everybody can talk. Into the problem in the fact that this system has no direct connection or compatibility with this system. So, we install the gateway. And so you have what we call a donor mobile from each system, and the gateway works its magic and allows this mobile to talk to that portable. And that, in a nutshell, in a left-hander's handy-dandy writing, is an overview of what's happening here. And so, if you wanted to bring in high band into this talk group, you'd have another radio system down here. And this gateway, here's your donor mobile, and this gateway would be joined into the network that way. And maybe another radio system up here that would join in. But this gateway, right here in the middle, is what allows everything to be tied together.
We had the opportunity to talk to Darren Daters about the situation, and he's been involved since this first became public knowledge regarding the problems with communication. So, Darren, explain the evolution of that.
Well, we started out with the city police and the sheriff's office on the 800 megahertz system. That's operated for roughly 13 years. And in the last approximately a year to 8 months, the city police have migrated to the Starcom system. On the heels of that, we began experiencing issues with the patch or our consoles not being able to adequately transmit our information or our radio traffic.
It wasn't understandable.
Exactly. It was extremely tough to understand. So we had to come up with a solution, such as this radio bridge option. And today we had proof of concept that it does in fact improve the communications and really helps out conveying the urgent traffic that we need to sometimes convey.
It'll also keep 800 viable because it will allow Starcom to communicate with 800, so that's a consideration now too.
Certainly, but you have to understand that the 800 megahertz system is aging, and Motorola has they've expressed some concerns with being able to find parts in the near future. Everything evolves, like computers and cars and everything else, as do radio communication systems. And Motorola is in the near future, probably within the next couple of years, going to terminate or cease production on many of the vital parts that allow the 800 megahertz system to operate. So we're looking at approximately 2 to 3 years where we have some availability to these parts. But I think now that we have this issue addressed, we also, on the heels of this, need to start looking at other options, Starcom or the VHF or high band system. Obviously there's financial concerns on both sides of it, a proprietary system versus a non-proprietary system. So, we really have to put the pen to paper and see what works for us. And, we're currently in those talks as well. And that's going to come more to the forefront once we get this bridge in place.
And we in radio understand that you can't broadcast good quality unless you get good quality, and
right.
So that'll still be a consideration.
Certainly,
too.
yeah. I mean, though we may be looking at a least expensive or a less expensive option, we're not going to sacrifice anything in quality. Both of the radio vendors here within the county, and I'm certain anyone that would bid it would bring quality equipment to the table, and we wouldn't expect anything less than quality.
There wouldn't be any change here regarding the range of the system also. the dead spots that are still in the county aren't going to be enhanced by this, and it's not going to widen the range.
Right, with this system, no, that will not address those issues. Obviously with the replacement of the 800 megahertz system, we're gonna keep those things in mind. At our outer limits, we do have some range issues, some audio quality issues, but those aren't necessarily and will not be addressed by this system. It has to be addressed by the replacement or the upgrade or expansion of a radio system. So
It's not unreasonable to say, though, that because this might cost less than other options, there might be some money freed up to address some of those things that we just mentioned, though.
yeah, I'm hoping that there will be some money left over after this purchase, but we have to spend our money wisely, and I don't want to jump head first just because we have money available to just start buying things that we think we need. I think we really need to take the time, consult with the professionals, allow them to put together a viable, robust option for us that's cost effective, and it's easier on the taxpayers' wallets, especially now in the economic times that we're in. It's pretty tough.
And we really don't have a timetable by when this will be implemented.
No, obviously or clearly, I would like to see something by the time Motorola can no longer guarantee parts for our 800 megahertz system. But I would like to see something sooner than that. And Motorola could change their minds tomorrow. As with anything, if it's expensive for them to continue to produce those parts, they may cease them in a year and a half. But I think we're guaranteed for another year that they will provide or can provide parts for it. So we're looking at maybe a 2 to 3 year cease of production date, and then it's at will or best effort to provide equipment for the 800 megahertz system.
All right. Darren Daters is an officer with the Effingham County Sheriff's Department. I'm Greg Sapp.